there's an old expression that says, by their fruits ye shall know them. Well, the interesting thing about that expression and that concept is that you either got to see or taste the fruits. So one of the things as it relates to this great university that I'm at today and having such a good time and getting so much information is that, there are so many fruits with which I am not familiar. So I'm just happy to be able to help the community to taste the fruits of this university, and that way you will know them and you will notice that these fruits are both tasty and sweet. This is a call to action.
A call to action.
I'm your host, Alex Haversham, and I'm just so honored and humbled to be in a position today to interview Dr. Lord Griffith, who is the illustrious president of this great university. And what we're going to do, there are a couple of fruits that we want to discuss and reveal to the community today.
Great.
One is the fruit of Lord Griffith. I'm going to get it right.
You're going to get it right.
Yeah, Lord Griffith, a doctor
right.
who's the president of this university. And the other one is the fruit of this great historical and impactful institution, the Fort Valley State University.
You got that right.
Yeah, okay. So we'll begin with just a little information on yourself.
Like many of our students, many of our alums, I come from a background of first generation. I come from a background of parents who never went to school, grandma, grandfather, not even went to high school. So I understand the importance of education. I understand the importance of maximizing all the opportunities. And so went to college in Guyana, where I was born, moved on to New York to do graduate work, and had an opportunity over the decades to be a professor, a researcher, a dean, a provost in a variety of states. New York, Florida, Virginia, now Georgia. And my wife said to me only last night, we were over at the base for General George's dinner. General George is leaving. And she was telling some of the military spouses that we are not moving again for a long time. We've been moving around as though we're in the military. So I'm delighted to be at the Fort Valley State University, delighted to be at a place where the mission is about making dreams come true. The mission is to educate, connect with community, help to do research that can be impactful in a variety of ways. And this is what the fruits of our efforts are all about.
Yeah. Well, in our discussion a little earlier, there are so many unique things. We ought to do a session on Did You Know, as it relates to Fort Valley State University. And there are so many things as it relates to agriculture and research, and that there are just so many unique elements of this university with which I'm sad to say, because of the intricate role that the university plays in our community, everybody should be, at least moderately familiar. It should be more than that, but we should be, at least begin. But there are so many things that are going on at the university, so let's talk about those things that I didn't know.
Would love to.
And I want to tell you right now, I want some of that goat milk ice cream before
We'll get you some. We'll get you some goat milk. Something may not be the milk. Get you some ice cream, but get you some soap.
Okay. Wow.
Don't know if you listen still to Tom Joyner Morning Show, but there's a bit on the Tom Joyner Morning Show with Huggy Lowdown, and he talks about things that who knew. So I'll give you a couple of who knews in relation to our university. Who knew that we produce not only goat milk ice cream, we produce goat milk soap.
Wow.
We produce goat cheese. Who knew that our university has the only 4-year veterinary technology accredited program in the state of Georgia? Who knew that we are number 6 in the nation in producing African Americans in the fields of agriculture, mathematics, and statistics. And one of the important things to know about the agriculture is that not everyone who does animal science or plant science or biotechnology or ag economics stays in the agriculture area. Some of them go off to other industries. So some of our ag alums are dentists. Some of our ag alums are medical doctors. Some of our ag alums are veterinarians. Dr. Marble, the immediate past president of our National Alumni Association. Ag.
I didn't know it was an ag major.
Yes. And so, for me, the value of ag is not only in relation to ag, is the spin-off ancillary value added in a lot of other areas.
Now, the agriculture program has been a part of Fort Valley State, the Fort Valley State University for quite some time. Let's just talk about, maybe in a more holistic manner, the program, because I know it. I mean, I know that it has got national recognition, and I also know that a lot of people don't know, about the ag program. So let's just spend another minute and talk about that, and we'll move on.
Good. So let me put that in the context.
Okay.
Our ag programs are part of one of our great mandates. We have a mandate under a legislation of 1890 to be a land-grant university.
Yes, sir.
There are two land-grant universities in the state of Georgia. University of Georgia and Fort Valley State. University of Georgia's land-grant mandate comes under an 1862 legislation. We are under an 1890. And so part of that mandate as a land-grant university is to not only teach and research in agriculture, but also to do extension. So we have extension agents who work in the communities. We've got a presence in 31 counties. We've got a mobile unit that goes to all 159 counties. And we don't only do ag education. Come January to April, we help a lot of families, not just farming families, know how to prepare their taxes. We do workshops on how do you resolve land disputes. A lot of folk, mama left that land for me, brother want a part of it, there's no written will,
Right.
the land is not used because of disputes. We do a lot of supporting legal education, resolving. How do you make better choices on your food to eat?
Right.
So the value of our agriculture is not only on the programs of instruction, and we've got bachelor's and master's programs.
Right.
We've got an MPH, public health program, one of our strongest programs. We've got a biotechnology program. We've got ag economics, electronic engineering technology. There's a variety. When you make a tour on the campus, you'll see under construction a $4 million Family and Child Development Center. Part of our ag is ag, family sciences, and technology. So what used to be called home economics back in the good old days, family sciences.
Right.
And so you'll see that $4 million project has housing for 16 students to live there, to learn from beginning to end the family sciences. So ag, I've said often that ag is not only about farming. It's about research. And it's about the science of the ag, which is why Dr. Marble and people like him can move from animal science into dentistry.
Right.
Because the science foundation is very strong.
I understand that. Well, all of this information is just phenomenal. And I would like to maybe see some kind of initiative develop wherein, we can get more people, particularly young people, familiar with, what's going on at the Fort Valley State University. What about field trips or visitations?
We have field trips and visitation, but we need to do more.
Okay.
We have the 4-H clubs that come. But beginning this year, I'm making an opportunity for everyone by virtue of festival. We're going to have every department on display. We'll have life on the farm. We'll have goat milk ice cream free giveaway. We'll have goat soap to sell. We got to bring folk to campus, bring mama, bring auntie, bring granddad, bring the kids so they can see the place and become familiar. It's a constant battle of how do you market, but how do you also bring people on board.
Right.
And so we've extended what we do by way of marketing on social media. You can find us on all the platforms. We're on Twitter, we're on Instagram, you name it, we're on it. But we still have got to continue
Right.
making that, which is important for us to have the community groups know. And so I've been going to a lot of churches.
Right, right. I've never been a provost, but, you know, I used to be a teacher back in the dark ages, you know, taught high school and do a lot of training now. But it seems to me, and then I'm saying this to the community, that it would be well worth one's while, it will be well worth a teacher's while because of all of the activities and the elements and the education that are available at the Fort Valley State University. Maybe it ought to be a project specific, wherein a teacher will bring, his or her class here. I mean, is that possible?
It is
and
possible.
How could that be arranged?
It could be arranged in two ways. It can be arranged through the College of Education. We have a wonderful dean, Edward Hill, who's doing a stellar job. But it can also be arranged through admissions. So there are many possibilities, and so we're open to all kinds of engagement. We also need to be bringing groups of counselors, and we'll be doing that this coming fall, allowing more people who have influence over the kids who make choices about where to go to school,
Right.
have them know more about it.
Right.
One of the things that, let me just mention this
Go ahead.
before we move on. Ms. Barry Johnson and Ms. Shonda Lewis and the members of their team are doing a remarkable job in an electronic newsletter we produce every 3 weeks. I need more people to be on that mailing list
Okay.
so that if they aren't able to come, they can at least every 3 weeks get a glimpse. What's happening in ag, what's happening in education, what's happening with some of our students, what are some new research. We have a student and a faculty leaving today to go to the Philippines to research. We had a group of students, 3 students, get on an airplane, fly directly to Abu Dhabi to present their research. One of them came back with a first place prize.
Wow. Wow.
Didn't even know he was that good.
Wow. Wow.
The Fort Valley State.
D4, but there are so many good things going on at
Many good things.
the Fort Valley State University. But it's not limited to ag.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's one of the stellar elements of this great
Absolutely.
university. Talk a
Absolutely.
little bit about the other programs.
Well, you know, Fort Valley was known, even before the reputation for ag, it was known for education. May 8th of this year, I paid a surprise visit on an alum, Miss Carolyn Pitts, class of 1947,
Wow.
on her 100th birthday.
Wow.
Education. She lived in Ohio Hall. She talked about the training. Our people had a commitment to educating our people, and we had decades since 1936 when we became State College of leading the forefront in education.
Right.
So education is one of the things we're known for,
Right.
and we need to sustain it.
Right.
But tell you what, criminal justice is one of our largest majors. I'm fostering a partnership with the Department of Corrections. Georgia State Department of Corrections had a wonderful visit a few weeks ago with Commissioner Brian Owens. I signed a memorandum of understanding a couple of months ago with the mayor of Warner Robins on criminal justice. We'll be doing something similar with the mayor of Fort Valley. Psychology, business administration, those are among some of the bigger programs outside of agriculture.
Right.
And part of my vision is to have some other stellar programs. I'll tell you a little secret, don't tell anybody.
Okay.
We're going to be having aviation in this university. Here's another secret.
Oh, wow.
We're going to be having the supply and logistics management at this university.
Wow.
Here's another secret connected to agriculture but not limited to agriculture. We're going to be establishing a food security institute. at this university.
Well, I'm going to say this right now, and I'm so happy.
But don't tell anybody.
No, I'm not going to tell anybody. I'm going to, well, before we break, I want to say that I'm so happy that your wife has planted her feet right here in Central Georgia and right here at this university.
I listened to my boss, and she said, we're not moving for a while, we're not moving for a while.
We're going to talk some more about an exciting festival that's coming up on August the 30th. This is a call to action.
A call to action.
I'm your host, Alex Habersham, interviewing the illustrious president of the Fort Valley State University, Dr. Ivelaw Lord Griffith. We'll be right back. One thing that we say, Doc, in Central Georgia is that they talk about regionalism. They saying that, Macon and Central Georgia can't do it by themselves. Mm-hmm. But, you go farther than regionalism. I understand you're dealing with globalism.
Absolutely.
If I can coin that term.
Absolutely.
Ms. Barry Johnson, if I can coin that term, if it's not one. We're going to talk about globalism.
It's a term now.
Yeah. and I think it's important. As a matter of fact, when I talked to Mr. Stevens about the initiative that you've got coming up on the 30th, I got excited. So talk a little bit about that.
Well, before I talk about it, let me tell you a little bit about globalization overall, because this fits into it. When I was introduced to the regents after my appointment, I told them that my sense is our university needs to stop training Georgians only to work in Georgia. We've got to train our students to be competitive to work any place.
Right.
And we've got to make them psychologically adaptable by allowing them to know about the other places.
Right.
So there's a very teachable wall. When you come and get a tour, you got to go to this building, the Student Amenities Building. I bought, and on display in that building is 194 flags of every country in the world. You would not believe, Mr. Habersham, how educational that has been for faculty, staff, students, visitors. I never knew there was a country called Latvia. There is. Student reached me by the Woodward Gym a couple of months ago. Run behind me. Mr. President. I said, yeah. Is there a country called Georgia? Because I went over to the building and I saw Georgia. Look, I said, it wasn't my flag. I said, there is a country called Georgia. It's in Europe. Go find out about it. So the notion of the globalization has an element of we've got to let the students and the community know about the world. And we've got to connect to the world in different ways. Part of my intent is to connect to the world by bringing students here to teach. We've got great academics, we've got great athletics, we've got great affordability, and I'll come back to the affordability in a minute. But the festival, as a part of that global, is intended to do some of what we talked about, to educate, to have fun, to entertain, and to do that in a way that says this is a university that embraces all of those. So we're going to begin the day with a parade. We've got a wonderful ROTC battalion. Lieutenant Colonel Davis is organizing a parade. We've got a lot of other things in mind. We'll do a parade. We have a small opening ceremony. Mayor of Fort Valley, who is an alum, as you know, Barbara Williams. She's going to come do a proclamation. And then we're going to have the soccer. 2 teams from Atlanta, 2 teams from Peach County. Soccer between 10 a.m. and 1 p.m. And then let the festival begin. Music, dance, a whole bunch of things that allow people to have fun. We'll have displays of our different college options. We'll have giveaways. We produce goat milk ice cream. We let the kids have them. We produce soap. Can't give everything away, so you can buy the soap. But we'll have samples of our goat milk cheese.
Right.
Anyone who is 12 and under, free admission. All of our students with valid IDs, free admission. All we're asking as a minimal contribution is $2 for everybody else.
Wow.
Come on down, have fun. And I want to make it an annual event. The idea is that every Labor Day weekend, from this year onward, Fort Valley needs to be a destination for family and fun and connecting with the world. And it connects to something you talked about earlier. My intent is to let the community benefit economically. My intent is to let the university benefit economically. So it's a win-win in terms of what I call the 2 E's. We're an educational enterprise, but we're also an economic enterprise. And our economics is the community economics.
Right, absolutely. Now, this festival is going to be on August the 30th.
August the 30th.
You know, which is pretty close. Now, that is just Central Georgia going to be represented at this festival?
Absolutely.
It's just the United States going to be represented?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
United States is a major part of the world. We've got to be there.
Yeah, but who else is going to be there? What other countries will be?
The idea is not so much to have countries represented, but we only have 5 hours for the festival, so you can't pack too many things. You know, it doesn't make any sense bringing a big band for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So I think we've got 5 or 6 main components, and then we'll have a number of small acts.
Right.
We've got Bahamian stilt dances, we've got American folklore, we've got Cuban music, we've got Trinidad steel pan.
Yeah, so it's several countries.
Several countries.
Yeah, that's going to be noted and
so
involved.
the idea is to have fun,
and
educate, and to learn.
The other thing I want to say, I think, soccer is becoming, a phenomenon across the country.
Across the world.
Yeah, across the world, Thank you very much. This is a call to action.
A call to action.
Your side, Havisham interviewing Dr. Ivelaw Lord Griffith, who is the illustrious president of the Fort Valley State University. Right. So just talk a little bit about the soccer exhibition. Let me tell you why. Because, with soccer being as important as it is, not only across the world, but also in Central Georgia, then it seems to me that it behooves some teams, some youth soccer groups and what have you, to join the festival because, not only will be there a soccer demonstration, but there will be other forms of entertainment, for the family and for grandma and for everybody.
Oh, yeah.
So talk just a little bit about soccer after we come back. This is a call to action.
A call to action.
We're gonna break for just a minute, and I know you all don't want us to quit, but trust me, we'll be right back. I can't think of anything more important than education, and I can't think of anything more important to pay for than education.
Absolutely.
But I think it's noteworthy of mentioning that as it relates to affordability, that it's my understanding that Fort Valley is affordable.
Absolutely. I call us a AAA university. Great academics, great athletics. You know that we have an alum of this great university who was an Olympian, class of 1952,
Right.
Catherine Lavender Hardy.
Right.
But we also have the third A, affordability, and we didn't make these numbers up, Mr. Havisham.
Okay.
These numbers were from the Institute for College Access and Success. Our university is in the top 10 in the nation, along with Howard, Hampton, Cal State, Princeton, where students graduate with the least debt.
Oh, wow.
Now, as I say to folks, the kids may not value that, but grandma or
Yes.
mama does. And it makes a difference if you come into a place with a quality educational product that leaves you with not huge debt. As a matter of fact, we had on the website, maybe still there, and I'll tell you what the website is in a minute. We had in our graduation of May the 3rd, 2 students who graduated with not a single penny of debt.
Wow.
Debt-free. So visit us, www.fvsu.edu.
Right.
Find out about the soccer, find out about our academics, find out about our athletics, but find out about our affordability as well.
And find out about the festival. And,
The festival.
Speaking of activities, I guess Fort Valley's going to have a homecoming this
We
year.
better have, because people are going to run me out of town if I don't have one.
Talk a little bit about that.
Homecoming is not only a great tradition, it's a great tradition that brings alum together, community together, and brings money for the community.
Right.
About 10 to 12,000 people are going to be on this campus and in this town for homecoming. we're going to be not only having on the homecoming Saturday the great parade, we're playing Pain, and I told my AD we've got to let pain feel some pain on the football field.
A poet and don't know.
But I'll tell you one thing, which in addition to the traditional events during homecoming, we're going to be having a big pool party. Do you know that we have had in this campus an Olympic-sized swimming pool that was closed for almost 5 years?
Wow.
When I got here, I said to the Chancellor, Mr. Chancellor, I heard there's a hole in my university. I want it filled. We're fixing that pool. It's going to be ready for homecoming.
Wow. That is so outstanding. And what about when is homecoming? Of course, you can go to www.fvsu.edu to find out more
the week
about
of
it.
October 20.
It's the week of
20
October.
through 25.
Yeah, October the 20th
Wonderful
through
week of events.
25th. Since you are the illustrious president, I'm going to give you a 1-minute wrap-up then, talk to the community, just kind of recap what we talked about and invite everybody again. But before we get to that, I just want to thank you, and I just want to congratulate you on a phenomenal job. And I want to emphasize to the community that I can feel the impact and the seriousness of Dr. Griffith as it relates to inviting the entire community and soliciting the support of the entire community, not only as it relates to attending Fort Valley State University, but also because of the other E.
That's right.
Because of the economic impact that this great
Economic
institution has. So you can wrap it up, Doc.
I'll wrap it up by saying this. We are here to serve the entire community. My mandate is we're going to be aggressively recruiting black students, Hispanic students, white students, international students. We're going to be offering some new programs beginning next year. We're going to be connecting with the community in more intentional ways. I've signed a memorandum of understanding with Georgia Military College. I hosted only yesterday General Caldwell, who is the president of Georgia Military College, working on an agreement with Central Georgia Technical College, one with Albany Tech, because all elements of the community are important to us. We've got to serve the students coming from technical schools. We've got to serve the military families. We've got to serve the continuing ed. We've got to serve the traditional student coming from high school. But we're also expanding our ROTC chapter. This university is open for business for everyone: academics, athletics, affordability, education, and economics.
This is a call to action.
A call to action.
I'm your host, Alex Havisham. I want to give a shout out to Fort Valley State University and the role that it's playing in our community.